So, so in the end, it was my race that was pulled first. So Enderborn, me, human. Enderborn has, where is he? 146.25. I've got a 149.59. Human is no PB, but has experience in other runs. Off the top of my head, I only know Sapphire, but I believe he's run a few things. This could be interesting. I imagine Ender takes this. I drew the sixth best pot one. There's a 3.5 minute difference between PBs. The only thing that might be in my favour is I don't see Enderborn in a shit ton of races, but then you don't see me in a shit ton of races, so I would expect that to basically be first, second, third, and if I'm getting to round 2, I have to do it on good race time. I do have to be vaguely afraid of human, depending on how quickly he gets good, because he will get good. But I don't know if 2 weeks will be enough for him. We'll have to see. Second one, I'm going to go left to right because sod scrolling. Huanli, Vahayo, and Jezza. Huanli was a last minute addition to the tourney, so I don't think he's particularly fresh on red right now, so he's only got 2 weeks to play. He's second lowest in pot 1. Vahayo is third highest in pot 2. That is actually super upset potential. I almost want to put that in Vahayo's favour, given that Huanli wasn't really going to join the tournament until last minute. Just untrue? What is untrue? What did I say wrong? What did I say wrong? I don't forget the pot split. What? What do you mean? What? What are you on about, Head Bob? Talk to me. Give me the figures. I don't know what you mean. Jezza was an OPB. Vahayo was no. I said third highest. He's third highest. It's Flutz me then Vahayo. Analysis, yeah, analysis in a sense. More just a reaction, but if I put reaction in there, I'm gonna get flamed. But yeah, that is. My money's on Vahayo. That's one of the 2 upsets that I think is gonna happen round 1. Jezza is a no PB. I don't know anything about them. I feel like that's not that much of a concern. Let's have a quick speedrun search for a Jezza. What was it? 32. Jezza 32? No runs yet. Never know. You never know. But my money is on Vahayo to win that. It's going to be a close race. That's probably the closest one we're going to see of round 1. WSOP, Cyndaquil, Capital. WSOP second best pot 1. Cyndaquil, Cyndakill second worst pot 2. And Capital is a no PBer, but I believe somebody said Capital is an existing runner. No, he's not an OPB, he's a 203. That's absolutely free for WSOP. Cyndakill needs to play for time, basically the best time. And he can't ignore Capital, who already has a PB. Although a 203 suggests to me that they're not going to, unless that is a very, very recent 203, they aren't going to jump up anything quickly. But could be wrong. Quay, Sidosh, Shadow. This was another potential upset for me. Quay had to be basically coerced into the tournament. He does have a middle ranking in pot 1, but was talking about not even knowing the manips earlier yesterday. Sidosh is the very top of pot 2, and there is only a minute 40 separating them. That's very easy potential to be an upset. Sidosh is also on his game with red right now. He's playing it, he's active. I would, if this one isn't an upset, or if this one is my favourite for an upset, this is probably my second favourite. There was one later on I remember thinking was potential as well. Shadow Blitz is, where are you? No PB. I don't know anything about Shadow Blitz either. Let's do a speedrun.com search. Shadow Blitz. And just pause this annoying shit. I hate that it auto loads this. I'm sure I had that switched off. I'm not even coming up, so that could be interesting. Most likely that's Shadow Blitz is out round 1. But it's a real toss up between Quay and Sidosh. Hey Kitsune. Tepic Hellboy Shenanigans. Tepic, 5th best pot 1. Hellboy, middle of the pack pot 2. Shenanigans, top of the pack pot 3, but it's sort of irrelevant because it's about 20 years old. Pretty free race for Tepic, I would think, although Hellboy is good. But I feel like for Hellboy to have had a chance to win this, he would have had to pull a lower pot 1 opponent. Somewhere in the square root of sheep range, the 149ers. I think Tepic is just going to take that. Hellboy very likely to get through on time, though. But Shannon is the dark horse of the tournament. I know Hellboy's good, yeah. Oh, Hellboy's God. But Shen is the dark horse. He could spend the next 2 weeks doing nothing but red. He has the fundamentals already, and as if he learns the route, he could destroy it. He could spend the next 2 weeks just concentrating on his stream, not really pay attention to red at all, and just kind of fizzle out round 1. So I would not be sleeping on that if I was Hellboy. This is probably the only potential for a round, pot 3 upset, I think. No, sorry, there's one more potential, but this is the big one, I think, is Dark Horse Shen. But it is completely. It's going to go one way or the other. He's either going to destroy or he's just not going to do anything. It's one way or the other. Gym Freak, Mini Blinder, Etchy. Gym Freak is pretty high up, I think. Yeah, mid 147. Mini Blinder is high in pot 2, to be fair. And Etchy's a well-established Pokemon runner. This is an interesting race. Gym Freak should take this, but Mini Blinder is going to give him a run for his money. I would expect Mini Blinded to go through on time. Possibly win it, but I'd be surprised. Etchy is kind of similar to Shen, but not. Etchy has good Pokemon running fundamentals. He doesn't have good Gen 1 fundamentals, I don't believe. Someone can tell me if I'm wrong on that. But I believe his experience lies in later gens, and there's a lot that isn't intuitive in Gen 1 that doesn't apply anywhere else other than Gen 1. So that could be interesting. But Etchy has the mentality and the talent to become very good very quick. So, nice Sinstar. Crafted Ty Kevin Alba. Crafted got a good draw here, I think. I think you could have had much worse, Crafted. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Crafted is mid to low pot 1. Ty Kevin is low pot 2. Albacrine is high pot 3. But as I was saying during the draw, I think the pot 3 runners with a PB are less scary than the pot 3 runners that don't have a PB yet. You kind of know where you are when somebody's got a 158 PB. Ty knows Tastrat's potential, yeah. I don't think Crafted can sleep on Ty, but there is a notable difference. We're talking 5.5 minutes between PBs here. I think this is a comfy round 1 win for Crafted if he's sensible, and I know that man is sensible. So Ty is going to have to do a bit of work, but I think I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation that he makes it through on time, because he's bottom 6 in pot 2 with a 154. But he knows that even though he possibly doesn't know executionally fundamentals, he understands from a technical standpoint every fundamental in the fucking game. So it's kind of a matter of application for him. We'll see how much TAS can help when it comes to RTA runs. Pinkish Swift Major. Pretty free win for Pinkish IMO. But I don't think you can sleep on Swift. But 146 through to 153 is a notable jump. Talking high pot 1 versus mid to low pot 2. Major is a no PBer. I don't believe is a runner of anything. I'm going to have to do more than that. I'm going to have to do slightly more than that. Yeah, no runs yet. So... Hello, Alan. You can't even host me? I could host me, but that feels a bit dodgy. I think any of the mods could have done that, but that'd have been funny. You're booking Pinkish to win the entire thing. I don't think that's a bad bet. I'm going to go through the overall potential pass round 1 after this, I think, but Yeah, I'm fairly certain this is a comfy win for Pinkish. Pinkish has astounding race consistency. Swift is a bit of a dark horse for pot 2. She could become very fucking good in the 2 weeks between now and the race. I don't know how old a PB is. I don't know how recent it is. Gunnar is not the worst to face, I agree. And yeah, Major is a pretty much an unknown quantity. Wave, Conception, Wardot. Wave is obviously the big boy of this round because Pokeguy takes the bye. Swiss PB is 3 months old. That's not old enough to be rusty, I don't think. Oh, you're Ward OTR, sorry. Wardot. No, you're now Wardot, sorry. Get bopped, my dude. Wave, Conception, and Ward. So yeah, Wave is a free win. It kind of doesn't really matter who it is, but he also pulled probably the most comfortable pot 2 and pot 3. Well, Conception's mid, but Conception's been running this game for a while. And there's 152 is not the greatest time given how long they've been running it. I don't know anything about the race consistency there, but I never see Conception in races, which also does not bode that well. And Ward is a no PBer, I believe? Or did you have a set PB? No, you had a 158. Okay. So Ward is an unknown quantity to me. Although man has the confidence in the chat, so we'll have to see. There is potential for a pot 3 upset there. If Conception sleeps on his practice, doesn't get up to speed, we could see a second place from Ward there. Will it be good enough to pass into round 2? We'll have to see. You're going to have to do some work, I think. But potentially. Araya, Truly, and the name that I'm not sure if it's Corley or Kale or something like that. Araya is one of the best races around. Truly is mid to high pot 2. So he's not got a free opponent, but I'm fairly confident you could put money on Araya to take that one. And KA, as in Spanish for street. Okay, I'm going to go with that. Let's have a look at that. Search for that name, see if we find. Oh, it's Spanish. It's German. No, 156. Oh yeah, that's top of pot 3 actually. Truly can't actually sleep. It's still a 6-minute difference. Yeah, I don't think Truly can sleep on that. But I'm fairly certain that race finishes as the pots lie, first, second, third. There's enough of a difference between each one of them that I don't think any of them is scaring any of the others. King Jeff, Spitball, Lovesick. King Jeff is mid to low, or pretty low in pot 1, 149.31. Spitball is pretty low pot 2. No, mid pot 2, 152. And Spitball has wide range of experience across a lot of Pokemon games. I think Spitball's one of the dangerous pot 2 players. King Jeff, I don't think can sleep on that. We are only talking. What's the difference? Nearly 3 minutes. Pretty much 3 minutes, yeah. But I don't think King Jeff can sleep on that. And Lovesick is a no PBer so far. We'll have to see on that one. Don't know. I think they've run something else. I see them chat all the time. Nope. Okay. Or SLC's dead. Headbob Barp suits me. Headbob's good. Mid pot 1er. Barp is good as well. High pot 2er. And Suits Me is a 211er. I think that's not. I think Suits Me is practically guaranteed the loss here, given the 211 PB and 2 very good opponents. Possibly the worst case scenario, if you're in pot 3, is to pull one of the top 5 in pot 2, because you're basically guaranteed a loss. So, like, Flutz Me, Vahio, Mini Blinder, and Barp are all terrible pulls if you pot 3. But yeah, Headbob and Barp, that could be close. It's a difference enough, but it's not massive. It's about 3.5 minutes. Headbob's pretty comfy if he plays it sensible. IMO. Top of pot 2 can be beaten by somebody in pot 3. I'm looking at. So if we compare to Flutz, who has a 149.47, he's the best of pot 2. The only people I could potentially see beating Flutz from pot 3 are Shen if he practices like mad over the next 2 weeks. And again, Ecchi for the same reason. That's sorry, Sidosh. So it's the picture I have is swapped. Sidosh has the same PB, but you know what I mean. Sidosh. If Sidosh went against any in pot 3, I really feel like Shen is possibly the only potential, maybe Ecchi. But again, pot 3 is not where my expertise lies either. There could be potential killers in here that I'm completely unaware of. Human Light is well versed in other Pokemon runs. He could come in and destroy it. How many second places get through? It's more than half, I believe. What did they say? Because we're at 60... how many? 67? I think we're at 67 and 36 made it through. Yeah, so 32. So it's half and like 2 more. Yeah, Minnow's potentially, yeah, but if somebody's got like a 149 and they're participating in races regularly, so like Sidosh is doing that, I'm going to be doing that. I'm not in the moment. It's dangerous, I don't think. No, I counted Pokeguy. 66, because there's 22 races. Is there 22? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, it's 23 races, so it's 70? There really 7? No, there's not, because somebody was saying about there being 22. No, because it's... We're looking at them here, hold on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8. Oh, it's 19. Okay, well, yeah, that's less. So that's... But they haven't locked in the Gunner one. What? I don't know. There's like 61. I thought it was 67 or something. Fuck it, who cares? Tech has been asking a bunch of questions in Discord, which is a good sign. I agree. Refresh. That's probably a good shout. Yep. Okay, where were we? Anyway, let's not pick apart the entire thing until we're done with each one. Huang, Etiquette, Edhead. Huang, good. Probably a guaranteed win for him. Etiquette, scary, but he needed to pull somebody low pot 1, I think, to have a chance of winning. I still reckon he could pass on time if he practices from now. Although him and Shen pre-booking a race in chat and not opting to join like the more community-based races could be to their detriment. I feel like you're going to pick up a lot more if you pick up a shitload of information if you're in races, because when you go, oh, I made this mistake, and half of the people in the race will go, oh, you can just do this and fix it for you, because people are dead nice like that. And you're going to miss out on that if they do just them races. So, don't know. Edhead is actually good. I don't think you can sleep on Edhead yet. You need the patronizers, yeah. You do need to be told where you fucked up to be able to improve. Yeah, it's dependent. That's what I'm saying. Shen's the same kind of thing in that if he decides to go mental on it, he will be very good, but he has other priorities as well. He has a stream priority, not just a speedrunning priority. So, difficult to say. I think that's a pretty free win for Huang. Whom, Leo, Zeta? Where was Whom? Whom was mid, but that's belies how good he is at speedrunning. Yeah, he's mid pot 1. Leo is very bottom of pot 2. Zeta apparently has a better PB than what he had when the things were closed. Like 155 apparently. But I still think that's a very comfy win for Whom. I don't think he has to worry. I think Leo and Zeta could be close there. Yeah, exactly, Crafted. Square Root of Sheep, Abdelane, 4-tech, because I'm not calling him every tech, he's just 4-tech. Square Root of Sheep, mid to low pot 1, Abdelane, mid to low pot 2, tech, could be scary, as Garth has mentioned. But I expect this to finish like this. Abdelane, if he sleeps on it, could get bopped here, but I don't know if it's enough for tech to advance on time. Who knows, we could see. You better 1k on me winning the tournament. That is a poor choice. I'm quite scared, given how many people are dropping. They're dropping per round that I don't make round 3. That's kind of my goal. I want to at least make round 3. If I make top 9, that would be peachy. I would not bet any money on me at all to make the finals, like at all. I'm not going to win. I don't think I'm ever going to win a race here. I basically need to pass on time in the first 2 rounds, most likely. But I'm going to work my ass off. Hopefully be better than that. But as I stand right now, I would expect that I only pass on time in 2 rounds and then I get bopped round 3, most likely. RNG is not that big a factor in red races anymore. It's knowledge and good decision making. I mean, you can get fucked, don't get me wrong, but Flutz Pickle G-. Flutz is a scrape into pot 1 by literal frames. Pickle is mid. No, he's pretty low, pot 2. But Pickle has mad knowledge across multiple Pokemon games. G- is a no PB'er, but knowledgeable. I don't think that's a free race for Flutz. I think he needs to be worried, especially if Pickle goes as hard in as he can. He picks up games very quickly. I don't think he's ever got super good at a single one because he's played a lot of them. But Pickle picks up things very quickly, and that's kind of a scary race for Flutz. Weed, Dreek, Mac. If I was Dreek, I'd be super happy with this. Weed is mid pot 1, mid to low-ish. Dreek is mid pot 2, mid to high. Dreek is insanely consistent at races. Weed, I don't think, goes into that many races. I don't think he avoids them by any means, but I don't think he's in a ton. He's more of a good PB'er than he is a good racer. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, but what I'm saying is like... So my best comparison here is that Gunnar has a 146.16 and is seed 5. Princess has a 146.49 and is seed 10. I would put money on Pinkish to beat Gunnar 10 out of 10 races. Every time. Every time. Because Pinkish is a better racer. Similarly here, I think Dreek got a good match here because Dreek is a good racer. I think Weed is a good runner. I don't know if he's a good racer, so I'd be a little scared if I was Weed. Macwing, I believe, is a no PB'er. Let's see if we've got any other info on him. Also, I can spell. On SRC, Fire Red Runner, 209. He's faster than me in Fire Red. This man is going to destroy everybody. Is he faster than me? Just. He's 1 second faster than me in Fire Red. Be very afraid of this man. That could be interesting, actually. That's Dreek got a very good pot 1 draw. He actually got a vaguely scary pot 3 draw there. I still think this is my money for the second best pot 2 upset. I still think Vahio takes it over Huanli if things continue as they are, but Dreek over SLW, that could be very close. Alan Jelly Viking, I think Alan just takes this overall. And this is an amazing draw for him, considering he's lower end of pot 1. Jelly is mid pot 2, but we're talking a 3.5 minute difference between PBs. Viking is a no PB'er. Let's check if we've got any data on this person. Viking swim. On SRC, no runs. Yeah, I think that's organiser bias, IMO. I am of course kidding. But that is a very nice draw for you if you're Alan. Don't sleep on Juan, remember the yellow PSRM race. I'm thinking from the point of view that Juan had to be coerced to join. Similar to Quay. They're both mid pot 1s, but I think they're the nicer mid pot 1s to get. Not for lack of skill, but for lack of offer for having a bit of rust right now. He's planning on joining for a week, he just didn't tell anybody. Oh, okay, maybe we don't sleep on this man. Gatorism, Etienne, Wartab. Gatorism, lower end of pot 1. Etienne, lower end of pot 2. Wartab, higher end of pot 3. But Wartab does not show an affinity for Gen 1 speedruns. Given he was in the last tournament and he only has a 159 right now. I would expect that to pretty much finish how it is. Gatorism can't sleep on Etienne though. But we are looking at a 5-minute difference between PBs there. I expect that to be a 1-2-3 pretty standard race. Varoda Legend Kid Rocker. Varoda is mid pot 1, 147. Legend mid pot 2, 151. And Kid Rocker is a no PB'er. I believe somebody said Kid Rocker. Somebody gave me some solid info on Kid Rocker. Yeah, see, that's a resume. That is a resume. He's faster than me in Fire Red Leaf Green. Definitely going to kill some people. I'm a little worried in Legend Eater's place, although he is higher end of pot 2. Legend can't sleep on Kid Rocker here. We could see the rise of a newbie right here if they sleep on him. Stotchi Frank McFancy, which is a great name. Probably the best name in the tournament, I've got to be honest. Just short of Amoeba UK. And Minnow. This is an interesting one. Stotchi almost certainly takes this. Like, that's a pretty comfy race for him. But Frank is lower end of pot 2. Minnow is an established runner in other PSR games and already has a PB. A second place in pot 3. Frank cannot sleep on Minnow here. This will be close. And either of them... The sad thing is here, either of these two could advance on time, but they both can't now because they're in the same race. So we're going to lose somebody that really, if the pots had been kinder, we would have seen both of them in round 2. So this could be interesting. Frank is a weird way to say Becco. Is that actually Becco's name? Is that really? Why would you enter with that? Are you serious? I don't know. I can't even, I know you're Becco on fucking SRC. That's you. Jesus. Why? Why would you upset me like this? Okay, yeah. Echo, you can't sleep on that race. Minnow could wreck you, as a heads up. Becco's taken by the Japanese runner Becco. I'm sure you're on here because you run the pinball leaderboards, aren't you? Pinball 1? No, the bad pinball, not the good one. There it is. Yeah, what are you on about? Unless you're on about SRL. Maybe that's what you mean. Does it take your SRL name? That's dumb. And then, yeah, the final race, Gunnar Randall Primal. Randall is towards the top end of pot 2. This is probably one of the better pulls for Randall. If Gunnar does what he did last year, this could be a free pass to round 2 for Randall. If Gunnar learns from what he did last year, this is absolutely free for Gunnar. But he did not practice last year, and it bopped him in the first round, although he pulled it back quite magnificently afterwards, because I was the victim of a second round gunnering. But yeah, that could be interesting. Primal Pizza is a no PB'er as far as I am aware. Primal Pizza. Yeah, no rooms. I would expect that to be 1, 2, 3, but it kind of depends on the mentality Gunnar goes into this with. He was a late minute sign up, so I don't even think he was interested in joining initially. Or he just forgot. Primal Pizza is a pretty good name, yeah. So yeah, that's the grouping stages. In a way, I'm a little disappointed. There were some matchups I would have liked to have seen, and I feel like a lot of these are pretty complacent. Like, the only ones that stand out to me as super interesting is the Huanli Vahio one, Weed Dreek, and then a couple of others have potential, but I expect most of these to... Man, that's going to happen. With this many races, I expect most of them to finish in terms of seed order. Gunnar says he can't even really practice his hands hurt. That's rough. So... yeah, Randall could have fluked into a decent pot 1 there. So I'm going to pull this up because it's a little easier to look at. This is the list by pots as it was announced last night. And obviously I just kind of want to talk about potential past round 1. Looking past like round 2 and 3, really. I'm looking more at who I'd expect to see in semi-finals and finals. Finals is kind of a crapshoot. Like, semi-finals decides a lot, especially now that they're only taking the winners of semis. Last year it was... I can't remember exactly how they did it, but I think it was... yeah, it was 2 3-person races as semis, and the winners and 1 second place advanced. And this time it's only the winners. So we drop 6 people in semi-finals. So finals is kind of a crapshoot in a way. I don't think it's worth surmising about too much. But semi-finals, the top 9 is an interesting discussion. For me, Pokeguy, unless he does something dumb, but I kind of thought that last tournament, and then last tournament he played very, very sensibly for a tournament. Because I feel like, in a way, he has a runner's mentality rather than a racer's mentality, but then he very much had a racer's mentality in the tournament last year. So I feel like there's a possibility of a catastrophic mistake on Pokeguy's end, but I really would expect him to be top 9. It would be very, very surprised if he doesn't. Wave for me is a guarantee. WSOP the same. Hwang the same. Gunnar is like the top 4 is guaranteed. Gunnar is the point where we hit like especially if his hands are hurting and he's potentially not going to be able to practice well. That's kind of dodgy. I almost expect him to not pull it. Last time he lost to a general. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Last year I expected him to go out on a silly mistake and was wrong. Was absolutely wrong. I was expecting him to risk something silly because he would be in PB mindset, and I was very wrong on that. My mic balance is off again. That must be annoying people if you've got headphones in. Oh well. Is what it is now. Yeah, Gunnar's the first one potentially I wouldn't expect to see in the top 9, but I also do. That's like the middling one. Tepic is kind of the same, but maybe I sleep on Tepic a lot. I've never really watched him do runs. I've never seen him in races. I don't know how fresh he is right now. I don't really know a lot. This is like the first runner I come to where I'm like, I actually don't know a ton about this. Obviously from the PB alone, I would kind of expect him top 9. But I don't remember his tournament standings last year. I think he was out before top 6, so it'll be interesting. Ender, I would expect top 9, but then also, we should pull up we've got the. Let's pull up the leaderboards for the 2020 season. See where people are standing. See if we can find Ender in here. Standings. Oh yeah, Ender's got good results, but very few races. Only 8 races. So I would expect Ender top 9. But then the thing is, if I say Ender's definitely top 9, I'm ignoring people like Araya and Pinkish. These 2 will be top 9. I will eat this Wiimote on stream if neither of them are top 9. Potentially we get some horrific luck and one of them drops out early, but if neither of those 2 people are top 9, I will eat a Wiimote on stream. They are that good. Like, I would not be surprised if the finals is Araya Pinkish Pokeguy, Araya Pinkish X. Make sure you take the batteries out first. No, that's more fun. I'm that willing. I will happily eat this entire Wiimote. Yeah. RNG could imagine if RNG fucks me that bad. I'd feel bad for Araya and Pinkish if I fucked them. Like, the gods of above were like, well, fuck you, you're eating a Wiimote now, and just IGT'd them in every race. I'd feel a bit bad for them. But yeah, these are the top races for me. Very, very surprised if top 9 doesn't see both of them. Very surprised if we don't see one of them in finals. Nice balsamic glaze. Do I have to eat it in one, by the way, or can I chew through it? I feel like the first option's a bit erotic. I feel like I should move on. Stotchi. This is the point where we start running into the maybes. Stotchi's a maybe. Stotchi got very good very quick, and I would not be surprised to see him in top 9 at all. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in finals at all. But the PB is a little lacking, and I don't know what... Oh, the race results are good, though. Look at this shit. Top 4, 30 races. Okay. Don't sleep on that, man. Maybe Stotchi should have more of a bump than I'm giving him. Gym Freak, 147. Gym is good all round, but not much in the way of race history this year. If anything, nothing. Absolutely nothing by the looks of it. Or it just runs out. Past a point. One of the 2. Do not sleep on Jimmy, though. Jimmy good. Yeah, Stockchi is 4th. Like Noki. Stocky. He fucking told me that, and I thought, I tried to remember, I tried to get it in my head as specifically as he told me, and I think I remembered the wrong one. I'm an idiot. How do we get to 2019? 2019. Crafted telling me to go check these out. Hello, Crafted. Was it just so we could see you in second? Fuck's sake. I'm not even looking at you. Go away. Don't know if you don't think shows because of activity. Oh, yeah. Gym Freak, not one to sleep on. Headbob talking about Gym Freak. Fucking hell, Crafted. I can't believe you made me go there. I thought it was going to be actual relevant information, you piece of shit. And then Veroda, whom both potentials for the top 9, but they are going to have to put in a decent showing. Not special. I mean, how many are we going through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are top 12. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, actually, I would expect. Top 12 is like. Yeah, I would expect to see them there, especially with Gunnar potentially being a bad show. And there's a couple of other potential good PBers with less impressive race performances above them. And then from there, it's where we start to drop off. Quay was Quay and Pseudo were the surprise semi-finalists last year. You could see some magic from him there. And then Weed and Crafted are your probable outliers for top 9, really. Well, this entire probably the rest of pot 1, to be honest. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't really expect anybody Gatorism or lower to be top 9. Or no, I'd expect one person in this kind of section to be there with a good result. I'm not entirely sure who would want to put money on. My cat has just jumped into a whole box. Oh, Gym Freak is high on the 29 list, is she? Oh yeah. 30 races. Yeah, so Headbob's in the finals this year. Potential. What I'm saying, Crafted could. I'm gonna do my boy not very solid here, because this is gonna sound a bit mean. Dude, Ash, what are you doing, man? Come on. Big box of GameCube sat over there and he's climbing into it. Yeah, I'm gonna do Crafted not that solid here. He's not jumped on red quickly enough, IMO. And I understand it entirely because Emerald is a better game. But he and I are both going to suffer a similar fate, I think, of not getting on red as quickly as we should have. Emerald Tourney went, yeah, we're going to destroy the fucking Emerald Tourney. There's no point having it because it's like me and Crafted play for top 2, Kurt gets 3rd, Pickle and Damon and Poker Guy might show up. There it is. Shiru doesn't do races. Yeah, it becomes a little difficult to tell once you get towards the bottom of pot 1 and the top of pot 2. It all depends on nobody else will show up. Yeah, there'll only be 6 of us. It all becomes a case of how practiced they are right now. Like Sidosh is potentially a scary one because regular racer already, I believe. I keep saying that. I don't actually know for sure. Veroda's there. Yeah, 15 races. Who's got the most races? Pinkish. Yeah, Pinkish is going to rip this fucking tournament apart. It has to be between Pinkish and Araya. But people like Veroda, 42 races. Maybe not the best set of results, but I don't know how good they were when they started this year. Like 42 races already is that's strong with a mid pot 1 placing. That's somebody to be afraid of. Fran did races. Oh my god, 5 whole races. Yeah. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. But really, that's probably the end of the analysis. The reaction video, whatever you want to call it, from me. I'm probably going to do one of these for every draw, because there's only going to be 5 rounds, lol. And I'm probably dead this one, unless I kick my ass into gear. Oh yeah, so I suppose Dark Horse wise, who's the scary lower pools? Dreek is fucking terrifying. I'm so glad I'm in the same. That's the only advantage of not making pot 1 was that I'm in the same pot as Dreek. Very scary. Bart, very scary. Ty, potential to be very scary. Etienne, potential to be very scary. Pickle Plop, potential. Pot 3 survivors, because if we went by seed order, everybody in pot 3 dies. My money on surviving pot 3 out of round 1 is on Minnow, Shen, and possibly Etchi. Yeah, Ty's got potential, yeah. This is the thing, the people, I think the cutoff is like here. I think Etiquette's like the first of the deaths, if it's 36 passing. That's alright, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Etiquette survives, Abdelane's the first death. So, yeah. This area of people is interesting to watch. It's actually very interesting looking at the names, because this is the cut-off line, really. And there's people like Spitball, who I think the PB does not belie the skill that they have in running. And Etiquette, again, very old PB, but also potentially doesn't practice red enough to be a threat. Ty with a lot of knowledge, but not necessarily a ton of execution right yet. But there's a lot of potential in this zone. And that's very scary if you're in this zone, and look who's there, look at that. So, could be good, could be good. Yeah, Dreek, Crafted said a few days ago that the scariest people in pot 2 were me and you, basically. Which I don't disagree with. I think I'm one of the more scary pot 2 players. I think Flutz is probably up there. Not Flutz, Sidosh is probably up there as well. In fact, Sidosh is definitely the scariest one. It's actually probably worse for the pot 1 players that Sidosh is pot 2. I think Flutz is actually the nicer option between these two, given race results. Where were we? I don't think Flutz shows up. Yeah, Sidosh is there a bit. You're going to go practice the shit out of red? Me too. I'm going to go see if there's a race happening, because I know there was potentially going to be one. There's another announcement. Sign up link. Oh, sign up link for commentary. I accidentally opened Qubit Torrent. Let's close that. Total 36 runners advance to round 2. Slightly more than half second places, yeah. I think a red race already started, that's a shame. Yeah, shit, it started like 4 minutes ago. Not started. Oops, that's what I get for doing all that shit. I got no response. I am too late. That's a shame. Alright. JK's tired. Yeah, we missed the race. That was dumb of me. Statistical analysis of the draws. We're not doing statistical analysis. Join Among Us? No. Actually, I might do. I might go practice red. I don't know. Crafted, do you want to just race me? Let's do an emerald race. I'm like not practiced in emerald at all. That would be a terrible choice. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up stream because whatever I'm doing is going to take me a bit to set up. So if I'm coming back, I'll be coming back in a bit. And if not,